Welcome back to the Two More Cast News, your source for critical wildlife and conservation news. Tonight, a tragic grizzly bear mistake in Idaho sparks urgent calls for hunter awareness. We've got a Kodiak fisherman who faces prison for an illegal crab scheme just threatening Alaska's fishery. And some news you're probably not going to like, man. Oregon fights invasive species with bold new fishing rules, man. We're going to stay informed. We're going to dive into this right quick. So the tragic mistake in North Idaho, hunter kills a grizzly bear thinking it was a black bear. In a heartbreaking incident in Bonner County, Idaho, a young female grizzly bear was fatally shot by a hunter on the evening of May 9th, 2025 in the Priest Lake drainage of the Panhandle region. The hunter, believing the animal was a black bear, quickly realized the error and reported the incident through the Citizens Against Poachers hotline. Again, that hotline, dude. They are now fully assisting the Idaho Department of Fish and Game in the ongoing investigation. Those hotlines, they even work you want to turn yourself in, dude. But this unfortunate event highlights the critical need for hunters to correctly identify their targets, especially in areas like the Panhandle of the Upper Snake regions, where grizzly bears protected by both state and federal laws are known to roam. To prevent such mistakes, Idaho introduced a mandatory bear identification test for black bear hunters, which took effect January 1st of this year. And the test is designed to help hunters distinguish grizzlies from black bears by focusing on key traits like the grizzly's short, round ears, dished facial profile, noticeable shoulder hump, and long claws, about 2 to 4 inches. These are giant claws, dude. But Fish and Game emphasizes that relying on size or color alone can lead to misidentification, urging hunters to regularly brush up on identification skills using available resources. The agency expressed sorrow for the loss of the grizzly and praised the hunters' accountability in promptly reporting the incident. Yeah, good job to them. I mean, came clean, owned their mistakes, dude, for sure. Called it like it is. But that sucks. But accidents happen, man. I know that in Washington State, if you were to hunt certain geese areas, you need to identify the geese. Because you kill the wrong ones, and they'll shut the season down for everyone. It's kind of a big ordeal. You definitely got to pay attention there, get your stuff straight. Figure it out, focus, do your job as a hunter. Part of that is identifying what to do, what not to do. We're going to get into this next story real quick. Kodiak fisherman was jailed for illegal crab transport scheme. On May 13th, 2025, Corey Potter, a 64-year-old Kodiak fisherman, was sentenced to 1 year in federal prison for orchestrating an illegal operation to transport crab from Alaska to Washington. He violated the Lacey Act, of all things. Potter, who owned 2 crab catcher vessels, will also serve 2 years of supervised release, during which he is banned from commercial fishing worldwide. That's awesome. The case underscores the critical importance of adhering to regulations that protect Alaska's sustainable fishing industry. In February and March of 2024, Potter directed his vessels, operated by his son Kyle Potter 30 and Justin Welch 34, to harvest over 7,000 pounds of Tanner and Golden King crab in southeast Alaska. Ignoring state requirements to land and report the catch in Alaska, Potter instructed the captains to ship the live crab to Seattle for higher profits. Seattle, of course. One vessel carried over 4,200 pounds of Tanner crab, some infected with the bitter crab syndrome, or BCS, which is a fatal parasitic disease, while the other held 2,900 pounds of Golden King crab. Despite warnings from fellow fishermen about the risk of spreading BCS and harming the industry, Potter proceeded. The scheme led to significant losses. 42% of the Golden King crab died during the journey, rendering it unsellable, and the entire Tanner crab catch was disposed of in Washington landfill due to the BCS contamination. What a waste, man. In March of 2024, law enforcement searched Wells' vessel, and both Corey and Kyle Potter deleted text messages detailing the illegal plan and BCS risk to evade detection. Well, they got caught anyway. Potter pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts on the Lacey Act on February 7th of 2025. The court highlighted his leadership role and the damage caused by bypassing regulation. Yeah, it's definitely a violation, man, and these threaten the sustainability of our nation's fisheries, and they definitely the livelihoods of those who depend on them, too, for sure, man. And the Justice Department is committed to enforcing laws that protect our natural resources and ensure accountability for those who prioritize profit over responsibility. And NOAA's Office of Law Enforcement Assistant Director Benjamin Cheeseman added, Alaska's fisheries are a global model of sustainable, data-driven management This sentencing serves as a clear reminder that there are serious consequences for those who break the rules. The co-defendants face penalties as well. Kyle Potter received 5 years probation, a 5-year commercial fishing ban, and a $20,000 fine. That's pretty stiff. Good, get him. While Welch was sentenced to a 3 years probation and a $10,000 fine. Investigated by NOAA's Office of Law Enforcement and prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorney Seth Brickey. This case reinforces the need for compliance to safeguard Alaska's fishery. That's an awesome deal, dude. Lock them up for sure. But Kodiak's Island in Alaska, these guys are crabbers for life, dude, making a living out of it. And broke the rules, broke the law, did some dumb shit, and it was all for absolutely nothing. And we're going to get in this next story of Alaska. I know the bass guys are not going to like this. Maybe, they're not going to like this at all. I don't like it. But, I mean, news is news, man. New rule allows bait and spear fishing for smallmouth bass in the Coquille River to combat invasive species. But this started June 1st. Anglers in Oregon's Coquille River system can permanently use bait, spears, and spear guns to catch smallmouth bass with no size or harvest limits. That's kind of wild. This new regulation was announced by the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife just days ago on May 30th. It's like 2 days before it actually took effect. That's kind of crazy. And it applies to the mainstream Coquille River, East, Middle, North, and South Forks, with spearfishing and bait use permitted on the South Fork from the mouth to the U.S. Forest Service boundary near Powers. And this rule aims to curb the spread of invasive smallmouth bass, which threaten native fish populations, particularly wild juvenile fall Chinook salmon. Smallmouth bass were illegally introduced to the Coquille River system and have expanded their range significantly, reaching the Forest Service boundary above Powers in the South Fork, Laverne Park in the North Fork, and Sandy Creek in the Middle Fork. These invasive fish thrive in the river's warm waters and low flows, preying on juvenile fall Chinook salmon. They also eat Pacific lamprey, which are culturally significant to the Pacific Northwest tribes. They also eat native coho salmon, steelhead, sculpin, and crawfish. Over the past 7 years, the predation has contributed to a steady decline in the Coquille system's Chinook populations, despite poor ocean conditions also playing a role. But since 2020, ODFW, the Coquille Indian tribe, and other partners have used electroshocking to remove smallmouth bass, but the species continues to outcompete native fish. The permanent rule builds on temporary summer allowance for bait and spearfishing, offering anglers a unique opportunity to help control the invasive population. This is about protecting our native species, especially the struggling Chinook salmon, said Gary Vanderoa, ODF fish biologist. Anglers can play a key role in reducing the impact of smallmouth bass, he says. He says to assist anglers, ODFW provides access maps for the South Fork Coquille and Lower Coquille, along with an updated map of smallmouth bass distribution. The agency also offers a video series on spearfishing techniques, including how to craft a fishing spear and fillet a smallmouth bass. They really want these things gone, dude. They're going to give you information on how to spear them, too. Anglers are encouraged to use these resources to target the invasive fish effectively. For more information, contact Gary Bondero at, there's a phone number I'll put in the description for sure. That's going to be that, dude. 3 crazy stories here. And that's the latest from the Two More Cast news, man. From a grizzly mix-ups to crabby crimes and bass busting battles. We've got the wild scoops, man. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join us next time as we keep tracking global critter chaos for you. Stay wild. Stay safe, man. If you're going out spearfishing these smallmouth bass, make sure you know what you're doing. Grab a buddy who's done it before or something. That sounds dangerous, dude. Spearfishing tiny fish in the river system, man. I don't know. Pretty wild. That's going to be it for this one. Later.